our good friends, Warpsektor. Everybody, please give a warm, warm welcome and hello to
Warpsektor.
Warpsektor.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
How's it going?
make sure you unmute. All right, we're
What's going
good.
on? What's
Hey,
going
How we
on? How
doing
you
tonight?
doing?
hey. Oh, thanks for the host, Marissa. So,
Cheers.
so how are you?
Cheers.
How is everything in Warpsektor's world right now? The
Oh,
world of
marvelous,
Warpsektor.
marvelous. It's getting dark outside, so I'm just kind of hanging out, just chilling with you guys.
All
What's good with
right.
y'all?
And so, who is Warp Sector?
Uh, wow, that's a good question. D, who are you?
I'm Mr. D. I make it
Oh.
pomp sometimes.
Yes.
So, it's the collection of myself, aka Doctor Sector here, and Mr. D. Two sides of the same brain, putting together things for Warp Sector. We've been making music together since back in March of this past year here, and we get together, we make fun music, and just act a little crazy on our stream.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, spoiler alert. You guys stream. I mean, you said it out there.
Yeah, let us know. Tell
Yeah.
everybody about your stream.
Tell us a little bit about your stream and what you guys do.
Um, yeah, so we essentially get together usually on Saturdays and Monday nights, and we'll do a little interaction with our folks and hang out and pull in ideas and create ridiculous synthesizers out of things that people normally wouldn't sample. For example, our last one was D. What was it? It was nails on a chalkboard.
Boiling
Uh,
water, slide whistle, and yeah.
Enya, yeah. Turned it into a synthesizer and made a song, because why not, you know?
I absolutely freaking love it. I mean, do you ever get people that send you in samples? Like, do you ever use pre-made sample, or you just kind of
Just anything we
go
can
off the
find.
cuff?
We just started ripping stuff from the internet. I just threw Audacity on my computer and just we'd steal little things off of the internet and turn them into instruments,
That's
and
Hell
just
yeah.
amazing.
tune them in and
Okay.
see what we could do.
That's fabulous. So you guys are friends. What's it like creating with a friend? I want to hear from like each of your perspective. What is it like creating music with your friend?
D, go for it, man.
So from my perspective, it's all through a screen. So I he's been learning for the last year and a half, and I've been kind of like it's a patience game because I want to be like, hey, click this, do this, and it's not always conducive to everything I want to do, but he makes things and it's in his fashion. He gets to do the beats and the bass and all that stuff, and I get to throw suggestions at him. And then sometimes, if the track calls for it, he'll send it to me as an audio file. I don't even deal with stems or anything, and I just throw it in Logic and I do my musician thing over top of it. So um, I think it merges well enough that sounds like a cohesive song, and so I'll come back on Discord. I'll let him listen to it off stream, and I don't think we've had too many nays. It's been a lot of yays, right? So like, man, what did you do to the song? It's like, it's always been a good thing, right? So
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, and
Yeah.
I think it translates pretty well. You guys seem to have pretty good chemistry and like synergy. You're able to, like you said, combine the two brains and have it work together. I mean, what brought you guys together to decide to start making music together? What prompted it?
Yeah, we've been friends for a long, long time. We worked together way back in the day, and always had very similar interests. And we worked on a lot of projects together. We run a couple websites, and written short stories, and all kinds of other random things. And uh, somehow, with all of our endeavors, it always ends up starting with us two and ending with us two, right? So we're the ride or die, I guess, of all of our groups. And yeah, so we just kind of came back together. And when COVID hit and I started working from home, and I thought to myself, all right, I got to find something that I can do in my spare time that's keep me from going crazy. And I was like, man, I haven't done anything with music in years. I really want to get back into it. So I hit him up and I was like, D, what do I need right now? He hooked me up and said, hey, get this particular MIDI keyboard, and it comes with a trial version of Ableton, and I'll teach you the basics. And then since then, it's kind of been like every week on stream is like music class.
Yes.
And if you go through like our SoundCloud eventually, which we'll look at later, you can kind of see the history of me learning to produce music.
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah, that's so cool. And yeah, like you mentioned, later on, everybody, if you stick around, they will give us a little bit of a taste of what their streams are like. So please stick around. We had a chance to check it out last night, and it's really cool. It's super fun, super interactive. So definitely hang around for that, please. And hey, baby Wolfcam, hello. Now, someone in the chat wants to know if Mr. D is a bot or a program.
The world may never know.
Ooh.
D, do you want to answer that one? What are you?
I'm trying to stop the heat death of the universe. That's my ultimate goal in life.
Yes,
So if
please,
you guys
someone
have
save
any
us.
clues how to do that,
Oh my God, what's that? We need a hero. I don't know the words, but we need a hero, and that's you.
He is. He is the hero of the universe. He is the disembodied voice in my brain at all times.
I know. Do you ever, when you guys aren't together and working together, do you just hear him like you're going to the store and you're like, macaroni or pizza, and you just hear him like, I'd go with the pizza, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
he
generally,
hears
generally he's
Domino's, I think.
look, no Dominoes, man.
I'm the bad side of him.
You're like the little like bad influence on his
Little
shoulder.
devil.
Yeah,
The devil
the
on my
devil
shoulder,
on
yeah.
his shoulder. What's that like for you? Like you, Mr. D, so you had a little more experience coming in. What's it been like to like guide your friend and help him like on this journey and learning music production?
I mean, I've had people talk to me. I've been a musician for a few decades now, and I didn't say I'm very successful at it, mainly because I've chased bands, and that's kind of hard to keep a group of people together, and it really takes like a magical thing. And a lot of people will come up and say, "Hey, teach me how to do this," and they think it's like some kind of magical imparting, right? Like I'm good at something, so that magically just goes over to them if they just talk to me long enough, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so what happens is, I think with Dr. Sektor, I think we've been friends for a long time, and I know when he says he wants to do something, he's down to learn. And it was just like a object lesson for me. Like, hey, if somebody really wants to know how to do something, I've got him past stuff that took me years to figure out by just like thinking of a way to explain that concept easier to him, right?
Yeah.
And he's way ahead of where he should be, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay to be the guy supporting him, helping him out, right? So I've been in music for a long time. I've seen people that are really good who are terrible personalities. I've seen people that are great personalities that just can't cut it. Like, I've seen every type of person, and I think he's like a great personality that like deserves to make it and can also like gain the skills, So
Oh wow, you're making your friend blush over here.
Appreciate you, brother.
it's the
Even if-
truth, man. You can't hide the truth.
Look,
Yeah.
even if you are just a robot in my,
What a
basement.
great
Hey, it's
great AI you've got going here to uplift yourself. You did a really good job.
Well,
I programmed him to say that.
It reminds me of the old saying that like when you're ready, the teacher will appear, and like when the teacher is ready, the student shall appear. It's like it kind of just happened for both of you guys.
Oh,
And
wow,
it's
yeah.
like, it's really awesome, man. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool. Because I mean, I know for me, I can relate to being hard keeping bands together and stuff, how that can discourage you with music. And then working with somebody new to music, it's a bit of, it can be a bit of a challenge because if like, being a musician, you want to dive in, you want to just get right to it, but you got to slow down and you got to explain things. You got to like pump the brakes a bit. But when you can find somebody that is down for that though, and down for that ride, it's magic, man. And that's
It
awesome,
is.
dude. That's really
And
awesome.
I'm learning stuff along the way too, like especially if you have to explain something yourself. you have to make sure you understand 100% what you're talking about. Otherwise, you can't explain it, right? You can't just
Absolutely.
go, oh, I do it by instinct, right? That's not a good enough explanation. So,
Yeah, I kind of just feel it. So do that.
yeah, feel what I feel. And we've had those conversations before too, where I'm like, don't you just like feel the rhythm of the thing? And I'm like, no, that's a wrong. You can't say it that way. Oh wait, I know what the word is. It's a vibe. You feel the
Yeah.
Yeah,
vibe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you can't explain it, it's just a vibe. So Dr. Sektor, same question, but from your perspective, what has, been your experience like learning from a friend? And, do you feel like, some of the stuff that he teaches you, it just hits you better? Like you have a better communication and better language?
Yeah, so since we've known each other for so long, and we both have a very similar philosophy on communication, it it's a situation where I'm able to absorb a lot of the information he gives me pretty easily, because we speak that same language, right? And we take time to really understand one another and kind of define terms before we have a conversation that's super in depth, right? So from the standpoint of understanding what he's trying to teach me and the level of patience he has with the things that I do, because I'm a little ridiculous, right? I'm ever the optimist, right? I'm ever the one who just wants to dive in head first and just go, right? Just go, go, go. Let's
Do
make
the
something crazy.
things.
But he's patient with me, right? So he spends time helping to explain why we're doing the things we're doing, especially with some of the mixing and mastering stuff and the composition of the songs that we're doing to make sure that it just makes sense. Whereas I would make a song 35 minutes long, just to do it.
Yeah.
uh, but it's been a great experience, right? Because he has had that patience with me and spent the time to get me to the level that I'm at now, and it's we're just continuing to grow together, which is cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and even just even just hearing your catalog, you can hear that progression, and how things are changing for you. But was this your absolute first introduction to music production? Was this project, or did you do anything before?
The closest I ever got to it was you remember those old dictaphones that you could record on tapes, right? That's like you're recording like a class and like a college class.
Yes.
Was me and four of my
Yes.
buddies in a shitty metal band in like a shack with that hanging from a chain, right? And me playing like a double stack bass. That's as close as I
Yes.
ever got to
Wow.
to music
So,
production
yes, I
back in
love
like
it.
high school.
Love it.
That
This
is
is our first
so
real, or my first real attempt at it. So.
yeah. Oh,
That's
that's so
awesome, man.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy because I was like imagining like there had to have been at least something, but the fact that this project is your first ever project, I think makes it that much more exciting and fresh. Like, do you think that that changes the way you approach the music because you don't have other things that are like weighing you down or other influences that you know what I mean, or that you're bringing into this?
Yeah, I think that's a big piece of it, right? I have this attitude of I'm going to try anything, right? I have no boundaries with what I want to create other than my own limitations, right? Other than the things that I just can't do yet. But from the standpoint of I'm willing to try any sound, any combination of just insane plugins, whatever it takes, right, to just create something that's absolutely nuts. And Dio reel me in sometimes, right? He's like, all right, well, we gotta reel that in a little bit. Let's move over here, right? But yeah, I think the fact that it is my first time really going at it for music production, I don't have as many preconceived notions as a lot of other artists do because I don't have that history with music. I think other than being an avid consumer of music. I grew up in
Right.
the metal and hardcore scene here on the East Coast, and was at shows all the time in high school and through college, and that type of thing, and so that informs a lot of my musical taste.
Ooh, yeah, we just got involved in like call and response type stuff in the last few songs, I think. And which is he gets whenever he learns a new thing, he gets excited, and like the next few songs have that thing in it, which is that's so
Like I
hilarious to
gotta
me,
play
but I
with it
love
as
it
much
because
as
I know what's
possible.
what to expect.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I remember um what was it that you picked up recently, the call and response thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's only so many frequencies in the range of music, and he would stack like, okay, there's 4 pads, there's 5 leads, they all crescendo and play at the same time. I got this drum beat, but I also have this bass that plays the entire full range spectrum. So like even when I hit a crash cymbal, I can't hear it. We even upped our uh, music range on our computer all the way up to like 192, and we still couldn't mix things. I'm like, dude, you gotta pull back on the number of tracks you're playing at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think if there was a way, like he can hear all that stuff, I think in his head at once. So if there was a way for us to just hear a further range of notes, I think he would fill them up, right? Like, he would just fill it up to the max, right?
Just trying to, yeah, exactly. Just fine tune a little bit.
All in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
those less is more situations. Like, what is
Yeah,
the most effective thing I can do right here? You know? And
just-
I think we're getting to that.
I just
That's
blame the
awesome.
years of, slamming my head up against a giant speaker at the Norvo, right? Can't hear anything, so I'm just gonna fill up the world with sounds so I can.
Yep. Well,
Now, Mr. D, do you create music independently as well?
I was doing that under a different name, Time Flux, and I made about 3 songs, and then we started making stuff because he's like, "You can just do that." I'm like, "Yeah." So, you could just make songs and just put them online. I'm like, "Yeah, why not? I play instruments, right?" He's like, "Yeah," and like, "Yeah, I can just a computer gives you whatever instruments you want, right?" So a keyboard for me is a saxophone, a drum machine, a piano, an organ, Enya and flutes and boiling water. It's all those things. So
I love how Enya is her own instrument. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we got the guitar.
She
we
got
got the
layered
bass,
in
the
there.
Enya.
So
Oh, yeah.
well, we will find out.
Yeah. Oh shit. Some Enya in there. Now, looking up your if one were to search you online, something that comes up with your name is memecore. What exactly is memecore? And what is
man.
that to you and what you make?
So Memecore is kind of the working title of our second album. So the genre that we've kind of coined for ourselves is Cyberjank, right? And Cyberjank is the name of our initial album that released back in April. And Memecore was kind of the working name of the upcoming album that we've been working on since that one. So it's just kind of there. It's been floating in the air for us because of a lot of the way that we do things, especially with the live production, is based on different memes and different just funny stuff that we find online. So we've pulled in ridiculous memes from the internet to create songs from, right? So we were thinking of it as, okay, it's kind of this hardcore, memification of music, which is kind of what we've been doing. So
That's amazing. Where do you get most of your memes? Are you like big Reddit people or?
Well, Mr. D gets most of his memes from me just stapling them to his phone.
oops.
I'm just all over the place. Yeah, anywhere I can find them. Every social media platform. I'll steal memes from anywhere and just basically just pelt him with them all day.
I like how you say just pelt him with them.
Yeah.
Because I've had entire friendships where our only mode of communication is just memes, and when you find something so fire, it's like you want to like run home and show your friend like, oh, wait.
Yeah,
I got just the right person.
He sends me memes in the morning when I wake up that he knows piss me off on purpose, so that he'll get a bunch of texts from me explaining to him why it's not funny. So it's one of those kind of situations.
Oh
When you
my
know the
God.
right buttons to press, you just kind of have to.
You see the trick is not reacting. You can't react.
Oh, I'm learning. I'm teaching about music. He's teaching me about just don't give a shit.
Just get our sound up a little bit. Sorry,
what
we're
it's
just
all
getting
about.
our sound levels worked out here. Someone said our mic was a little bit quieter than you guys, so we'll get it turned up. I talk like a quiet little mouse.
We're
so
just loud
I
and
have
obnoxious.
to
That's all it
remember.
is.
You should hear him every time we're setting up the stream. He's like, I can't turn it up louder or else it'll just be screaming.
No cursing has been redeemed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay, so
Oh,
someone
sorry,
redeemed no
all right.
Capricious. Yep.
cursing.
So we'll enforce the no cursing. We got you.
Well, then let's talk about something where cursing won't be involved.
Oh, he's got his speakers on in front of 10th grade students.
Oh my gosh. So Capricious is watching this in front of his 10th grade students right now. All right, Capricious. So just so you know, when we open up the chat for questions, we are throwing it to your students as well. They are
Oh,
involved.
jeez.
Hello,
Yes.
students.
Hello.
We just went international. That's awesome.
Yes, we did.
Yes. All right. So
Hey, we're taking it out world.
what is something that you want to like get out there with your music? Like what is one of the
What is the
biggest
message?
things?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what is the part of you that you want to get out with what you create and what you put out there?
Mr. D, I'll hand it to you first.
What is the message I want to get out there?
Well, and
Um,
what about you are you trying to get out with your music and what you're creating?
For me, music is just about communicating like a feeling, I guess. So I don't necessarily have a message inside of that. Maybe if I was talking philosophically with somebody, I would have more to say. But in a song, it's mainly like I want people to contemplate, be more thoughtful about things, and I add very intricate stuff, I think, to my music to where you could just listen to it and not notice it, but if you sit there and listen, you're going to hear all the little details and emphasis I put on certain notes, and you're gonna feel like someone's playing the song versus like someone wrote this with a machine, right? And that's kind of what I want. I like the merge of man and machine, I guess. That's kind of a message there. So like the computer synths, but also sounding real. So
I love it.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. And
And I
Dr.
think
Sektor.
I think for me, you know, my entire life, I've always fancied myself a storyteller. I went to college for philosophy because I wanted to be broke my entire life. Um, I worked on a master's degree in English lit, you know, that type of thing. And I love literature. I love stories. I love the hero's journey and those concepts. And it's something where I always want to mix that concept in with anything I'm creating. So for me, this project is another medium for me to tell a story, right? Whether it's our journey, right, as far as us creating music and people being able to follow that aspect of it, but then also the characters that we're creating, right? You know, like Cyberjank is a character that we've created, and Dr. Sektor and Mr. D are essentially two parts of the same half of a character that created Cyberjank. So yeah, we're gonna. Our goal is to tell that story with our next album, so we'll probably get into that later. But for me, it's all about storytelling, you know, and that's I think one of the highest forms of human communication is being able to relate a story to someone else.
Yeah. Well, and that's I mean, it's especially with music, it's universal. You know, you can see everything that's influencing you, all that you're pulling from. You can see all of it right there, and I think that's one of the things that we loved the most about your music when we first heard it is because it has personality. It's like a living, breathing thing. Like you want to shake hands and like be friends with your music because it's just so much fun and it doesn't take itself too seriously but it still is based in reality of like, no, this is a dance track. You know, there's some really good production that goes into it, you know, that keeps it anchored down, but you're not afraid to just have fun with it. And I absolutely love that. I think it's just so fucking cool. Like, I don't know, how does it feel when you're putting that stuff out there? Or like when you know you're just going for it and you're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna get weird, and then you just send it out into the world. Like, what's that like? Like, is there any kind of like nervousness or?
I don't know. I've never been nervous about it really. It's
Yeah.
for me. I guess I don't have any preconceived notions, right? I just want to make something crazy, and if people like it, cool. If not, I'll just listen to it, you know. But yeah, it's just that concept of, you know, hey, we're gonna birth this thing into the world. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yes.
But yeah, we don't take ourselves seriously. I think, and I think that's probably what sets us apart from a lot of musicians and a lot of producers is that a lot of people take themselves a little too seriously. And the world could use a little less of that, I think, and we want to put that out into the world.
Absolutely. Could totally agree. All right, so we're actually going to open this up. We do have some questions from our Discord community.
Oh God.
All right, so here, let's see what we got here. All right, so the first one we have is actually from our friend Colt Vex. What are some of your favorite pieces of gear or plugins? And I guess each of you can answer that.
D, I'll let you go first, man. You're way deeper than I am.
I've had a ton of equipment, and I used to be deep into like guitars and stuff. But then once I realized you could do digital, equipment wasn't a huge thing for me. It became software, and I realized very quickly that like some of the best software out there is on a Mac, and so I went the route of Logic, and I've been working with that for years and years, and I've gotten super comfortable with Logic, and I played in a band where I would write songs 100% in Logic Pro, and I would bring it to the band, and they would be like, well, this is electronic song. I'm like, well, this synth is the guitar part. The drums, he's like, that's a weird drum thing. I'm like, you're a good drummer. You can figure it out, right? And
You can
so
figure this
it
out.
was this thing of like, I realized with writing songs, it's easier to bring an entire finished thing and then let people have their playing style to it. Otherwise, you're going to sit there for an entire practice session, everyone trying to throw ideas at the wall, and you never get anything done. So
Yeah.
I just bring a whole song mixed in Logic, and then what I did is I had Logic and main stage. So when we played a live show, it sounds exactly the same through the speakers. So really, my equipment is a laptop and Logic Pro, and whatever controller I happen to have. Right now I have an Alesis 49, but I also have a bunch of M Audio stuff, and I'm using crappy Skull Candy headphones to mix with. Like, it's not. I don't think you need super serious equipment these days. The software is worth, if this was the 70s, the software would be worth like $500,000 worth of equipment. It's just
Oh yeah.
learning how to use it, and yeah, $300 piece of software, a $2,000 laptop, and $300 keyboard and a crappy headset, and you're good to go, right?
You're flying.
Yeah, but that's me right now. I have a few guitars. I have a bass that I never take out anymore, and because I just keyboard it all the time. I can keyboard anything I want. So
Yeah. And what
Yeah,
about
and
you,
I'm
Dr. Sektor? What's some of the stuff that you're working with, or your favorite
yeah.
tools?
So for me, I actually have the same MIDI controller, on his recommendation, the V49, and it's worked great for everything we've done. Working through Ableton, and for the plugin side of things, the main plugins we're using right now are Serum and Faceplant. Serum is great for those low end basses, those heavy growly, low tones that we love, and
Yes.
Faceplant is an absolute beast of a modular synth. The thing's insane. You can route pretty much anything in any direction you want. That's kind of what my experience is for the most part, is kind of those three programs together. Little bits of, I got like wider and stuff that I'll use occasionally on certain tracks, just to get that stereo effect. But other than that, everything else is just kind of built in through Ableton. Any of the extra packs and things that I can get through there. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Got the LTD back over here. I plan to get better at that eventually. I'm trash right now, so. But my first thing now is really getting better at the keyboard so that I can truly play and jam better. A lot of what I do is more, getting a concept of note structure and then kind of painting things in. So you'll see the way I produce is kind of painting by numbers, but I'll find something that sounds crazy and build off of that. So.
Awesome. Yeah, and you have your system. You have what works. All right. So this is from Helsinki Project. How do you approach writing and producing? Do you clear your mind? Do you listen to stuff similar to what you make? Or do you listen to something completely different so that you have a clear mind? And I'll let both of you take a shot at that.
Dee, do you want to take this one first? Or you want me to go?
I got it.
Go for it.
So I was kind of just Pandoring, looking for weird stuff, and I was listening to a lot of. I don't know if you've heard of When Saints Go Machine, which is kind of like Middle Eastern electronica, strange vocals kind of stuff, and then like a lot of like Pilot and Comtrues and Tycho and stuff like that. So just weird spacey synthy stuff I was starting to get into. Because I had been listening to bands, my whole life, and I've heard all I think rock is a very, people don't realize, but I think it's just a very narrow genre. Like the instruments that are used in electronic, it sounds like it could be narrow, but to me, a full orchestra could be electronic music because it could be 100% synthesized. So everything is electronic music now, and it's kind of the backwards genre. Instead of pigeonholing itself, it just keeps expanding, and so that's what I've been listening to. It's just crazy, crazy electronic stuff, that like the edge stuff that I can find that doesn't make much sense, but it tickles some kind of thing in the brain that's like, man, I haven't heard that before. So
Awesome, awesome. And then what about you,
Um,
Dr. Sector?
yeah, I don't know. I listen to a ton of metal and hardcore music.
Yes.
So like my favorite band of all time is In Flames. I've seen them a million times in concert, all up and down the East Coast. I got a chance to actually go to the last ever Hellfest in the U.S. that was in New Jersey, near you guys,
Oh,
um,
shit.
way back in the day. So I spend a lot of time listening to crazy heavy, a lot of deathcore, a lot of metal, a lot of European metal as well. So, some like Blind Guardian and like really operatic type stuff too. And that's where I think a lot of my influence comes from with what I want to make. Is a lot of this just crazy notes all over the place, running up and down scales. So I'll listen to that stuff to kind of get an idea of where I want to go. And then try to apply that to what we're doing, right? Because it's so different of a genre. But I try to apply some of that insanity to this stuff that we're doing,
Yes.
successfully sometimes and unsuccessfully other times. But it's just interesting. I think, and that's kind of the ethos of Cyberjank, right? Is it's us smashing together as many different genres as we can and just seeing what we come up with.
I absolutely love that so much. Well, and I love that a lot of like metalheads and like heavy like music fans are coming into this genre now and like bringing all those influences and like back to like what Mr. D was saying. Instead of pigeonholing itself, it just keeps expanding because so many different worlds are colliding. And I think it's so cool that you guys have found your way to make your worlds collide and make them like a cohesive thing. And you always feel like you always feel that dark element. You can feel that metal element because it's like one of those things you're not sure whether to dance or headbang. Like
it's the happiest song in the world, but I'm scared for some
yeah,
That's
reason.
right.
yeah.
You
But
mean
it's
that happy
awesome.
child over there? I don't think he's ever been to medical school.
All right, and we have a couple more here. So we actually have one from Capricious Nature. What drives your graphics choices with your music? Is it made yourself? And then he's speaking specifically about your logo and then your recent Swallowing Souls video and the visuals.
Um, so a lot of the ideas behind the graphics come from just conversations that we have. We'll be talking about just random ideas for just how things could look to visualize some of the insane stories we want to tell. And I'll just throw ridiculous things at D and say, hey, do you want to make this? And then he says, absolutely, let's go. And then he'll spend hours and hours and hours in his computer building insane visuals for us. The one for Swallowing Souls was that's a prefab one. It's one that I chose off of a website, Render Forest, that does music visuals. That's pretty quick as far as just kind of dropping a song in and getting a visual that matches the beats. And I saw that particular visual and I was like, man, that's perfect for that song because it's based on that moment when when one of the Deadites is coming up from the basement, and like the whole visual is kind of like in an underground subway basement type of thing, and it just feels
Oh,
right
that's
for that
amazing.
one.
Yeah. Awesome.
But from the standpoint, oh good lord,
Oh, what'd
from
you
the
say?
standpoint,
Oh,
got
DJ
some subs.
Trinaxian, thank you so much for all the subs. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Wow.
thank you,
Cheers.
thank you.
He liked what you were touching
Thank
on.
you so
That's
much.
awesome.
That's so
Um,
cool. Thank you, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
giveth
so
giveth to Outworld sounds.
yes, thank you. And then Mr. D, as the resident warp sector mad art scientist. What goes into like what you create for you guys?
Well, I don't know if he'll get a chance to show the setup of the stream or anything, but if you go to our stream, you'll see like there's an entire background, and like there's a whole three-dimensional background to it, and all the scene transitions, and a lot of like we have a whole planet that rotates, and like warp sector flashes up and everything. I
It's
rendered all
fucking
that stuff on my
It's
It's
computer,
beautiful.
it's
so
beautiful, dude.
It
It
really
is so
is.
badass.
It
Everybody,
is.
you guys have to see it.
Yes.
And we will get to that.
We will. We
Definitely.
will. We'll
And
definitely
and,
get to
and
that.
dude, it is some sick stuff, dude.
thanks,
It's
man.
impressive. Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, and
Well, and the Cyberjank, you created that as well, right, D?
Yeah, the cover for the album, I did the art. We got somebody to do the Warp Sector and Cyberjank text for us because I'm not as much of a typography type person, but yeah, the feel of it works really well together. And we gave him the image so that he could like have a color
Nice.
palette to work with.
oh,
Nice.
And
Nice.
so shout out to Graphic Mercenary for doing that stuff for us. He's really good at that kind of style.
Hell
Like if you
yeah.
need a graphic made for this genre of music, which is like dark wave or anything 80s, really, he knows how to do it really well. So
Yes.
Yeah,
how,
he's great
well,
people.
Yo,
I
what's
know
up?
there's a lot of people here that could definitely use those services and be happy with that. So definitely check him out. And if you want, we can even throw up his information in the Discord if anyone is interested. If he is looking for work or looking for help, I know there's a ton of people in our community that would totally be all over that. So that would
Absolutely.
be super cool. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Oh, here's a good one. What is this is also from Helsinki Project. Shout out Helsinki. I know it's probably like 3 a.m. in Ireland.
nice.
What's your favorite part of the music making process for each of you?
I guess I'll jump on this one first. For me, it's just the interaction, right? The fact that we get to pretty much every time we get together, we're either starting a brand new song or working on one that we just kind of kicked off, and it's just us kind of yelling at each other back and forth over the internet, and just throwing together just insane sounds. For me, that's the most enjoyable part, right? It's just taking just a blank palette and just throwing as much crap at it as we can, and all of a sudden within the first like 20 to 30 minutes there's a song forming, right? You get to see this thing just kind of become something new, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite part of the process. Well, I look forward to Saturday and Monday nights, honestly. Like I can't wait to get on stream and see like if he worked on something during the week, or I have a new song or that I want to present because he sent me some audio and I've layered over top of it and I'm sending it back. We usually play that over the weekend when we get a new song going. And it's usually like 1 or 2 songs a week. Sometimes we skip one depending on, how the production's going. But I always complain like, hey, you sent me this crazy thing. I can't. What am I supposed to do with this? But I feel like I get the better end of the deal. He does the bass and the drums and all the hold down stuff that's like, I get it can be exciting, but to me can be kind of boring when I just want to jam, right? And I'm a musician, so I want to jam, right? So give me the backing track, bro, and I'm ready to go, right? So
Yeah, and I love that aspect of it, right? So I love the creating the base of the song, right? So it just kind of works out.
That
yeah.
I am with you. I love making the meat and the bait, getting that like ground level down. building the foundation. That's I'm with you, dude. That's my jam. That's
Yeah.
the funnest part. All right, and we have one last question. This is from Nanoverse. All right, so
Oh.
from Nanoverse here.
Oh, from Nanoverse.
Yes.
Who's your daddy? And what does he do?
Pomp.
Pomp. There you go, Nanoverse. That was just for you. I mean, you're free to answer that if you want. You can tell us all what your
He is
daddy
Detective
does.
John Kimball.
It's not a tumor.
Put
It's
the cookie down.
All right, so
All
we're
right, so
we're
let's get
gonna
into
get
some
into we're gonna play some of your music. I'm excited
Yeah,
here.
man.
All right, so this first track that we're gonna listen to, this is Fichael J Cruizin.
Now, is there anything
Amazing
you'd like
name.
to say beforehand, or you want to wait? Do you want us to wait?
Just want to apologize to God as usual. It's just kind of what we do before each song. No, this one. Well, let's play the track and then we'll talk about it, I guess.
All right.
Let's get it.
All right, so
Let's
this is
get it.
Fichael J Cruizin. That is a good bass.
Oh yeah, let's get some of them cruising emotes in the chat, guys.
Oh, I love that little bit crush shit. Oh my god, yes. That respect is so cool.
Oh what?
Oh shit.
Okay. Talk about sexy.
I know Capricious is happy right now. Yes, he is. The sax. Oh, I like them playing off each other. there's that call and the response. Ooh, I love that. It's like crazy. Love that synth sound. Holy shit. Wow. That was awesome. And we got our sax. We love the sax. So tell us a little bit about that track.
So that one kind of started off with me just kind of coming up with this chord structure that I loved, and I don't know what happened. I just kind of blacked out for a couple minutes and found these couple chords that I loved, with this cool little rhythm with the synth. And I presented that to D, and I was like, "Hey, I got this thing. Let's make a real cruising kind of track. You know, let's go full synth wave with it, and just see what comes of it." So we started building off of that initial structure, and then it just kind of ballooned from there. And once we got the full bass structure of the song down, I sent it over to him, and he just went crazy with the sax and the extra little leads on top of it. So
Love it. Love it. Such a good blend. All right. What's the story behind the name? Gotta know. What is the story?
yeah, so once again, with us not taking ourselves too seriously, we were sitting there, we were talking about this song, we were on stream creating this one, and we got into this conversation with a bunch of folks on our stream about how, you know, like Comtrues is a celebrity name just with inverted letters, and we looked up just a list of celebrity names, like, okay, we got to name this song, we got to figure it out. So we're just going through all these celebrity names and just inverting the first letter of their names, and we came across Michael J. Fox. And somewhere in the middle of us switching that name around, we got off on this tangent about Cruisin' USA, the video game, and somehow we smashed those things together and got Fichael J Cruizin USA.
Fichael J Cruizin USA.
Yeah.
I love
It's just
it.
utterly ridiculous, but
That's so awesome. Well, that's why as soon as I saw that, I knew. I was like, okay, there's got to be an awesome story behind this. I love it so much. That was so cool. All right, so that was like the first like synth wavy stuff that we've heard. So let's keep going a little bit deeper. let's go a little further here into the Cyberjank.
Oh,
So
geez.
up next we have Nobody Messes with the Baby. I can't wait to hear the story about this one.
good luck, everyone.
All right, so this is Nobody Messes with the Baby.
About to get real.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Totally reminds me of Cowboy Bebop. I totally think Cowboy Bebop. Sorquepter. Nobody. Holy shit. That just blew my mind. That what? That had everything. Okay, please tell us about this track, please. Oh my god, like, holy shit, that was nuts.
So this is another one that we started on stream. My good buddy Hamzors, who I've known since I was in 3rd grade, lives out on the West Coast now. Sometimes will jump on stream with us, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but we were talking about the movie Dirty Dancing and sampling that as part of this song, right? And he mispronounced or misspoke the quote, you know, nobody puts baby in the corner. He's like, yeah, you know, like nobody messes with the baby or whatever. And I gave him crap about that. And then he started coming back at me, and he didn't know that I had Audacity open on my desktop at the time, so I recorded his voice and turned it into the piece where you hear in the background. That's him. We turned it into a synth
Oh my god.
live on stream. And then the name came from that insanity. But D, you want to talk about your crazy
Yes, please.
Cowboy Bebop breakdown? Jazz
Yeah,
fusion?
so he sends me this. Well, okay, I helped him work on it, but then he's like, "I'm done. You have to." He sends it. He puts these songs in a folder, and he says, "You're the AI. You have to make it happen now." I'm like, "God damn it!" So then, so I get the song, and I'm like, "Dude, you gotta give me a little bit of leeway. These synths are super dark. This thing doesn't sound crazy or dancey at all. It sounds super evil. Like, what am I gonna do with these crazy like metal breakdowns and stuff?" He's like, "Dude, you could do whatever you want." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna split the song in half, and I'm gonna put a jazz fusion breakdown in the middle of it." And he's like, "Okay, what? I mean, if that's what's working, that's." So I'm sitting. You know, I sit at the edge of my bed with the keyboard and a freaking laptop, looking out the window at a thunderstorm, playing crazy jazz on a
Yes.
keyboard.
Yes.
And I was initially I was trying to play along to that weird dee-doo synth that he has in there, and it just didn't work out. But as I was playing the piano to like try to figure it out, I came up with that piano line. And I was like, I love this piano line. And it crescendoed, the first half of the song crescendoed with the dream voices and the piano and that weird synth booping underneath with his crazy bass and beats. And it just worked so good together.
I love it. It took so many turns.
And then coming back out of it, I thought would be hard too, but it just, I mean, it flows right into the next part, and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like it's, so I kind of discover like where the music is going, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen, and I think if you're a little bit too rigid and you're like, it needs to happen this way, and I was like, maybe it doesn't, maybe.
Yeah.
Traditional song structure just goes out the window sometimes, and you just gotta just go.
But I love that total faith in each other's vision that you have with that, and like this song I think was a perfect example of that, because you did your part, Sektor, and then gave it to Mr. D, and jazz fusion, like where did that come from? Where did that pop up in your mind?
I was trying to come up with a drum beat with a more organic drum kit than Dr. Sektor uses, and I'm like, well, how can I match the tempo? And I like these weird funky drum beats. So once I laid one down and I got it to like move from one beat to the next, I was like, this needs a crazy sax lead over top of it, and it needs to sound like you went into like a weird jazz lounge all of a sudden, right? So
I love it.
I don't know. Space jazz lounge, right? Where's
Space
Spike
jazz.
when you need him?
Yeah. Or Mos Eisley Cantina in, I don't know, 20
Right.
whatever year they're in.
way in the future,
Way
but
in
it
the
doesn't matter
future.
anymore.
Yeah, Marissa said in the chat, this song is from the future and therefore doesn't
wow.
exist yet.
Yeah, true.
Accurate.
It's here and not here at the same time.
Colt Vex in the chat saying Mr. D is a genius robot supervillain.
It's true. Oh
Oh,
yeah, you're like the
thank you.
Inspector Gadget villain. We just
Is that a
never.
compliment?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, he's my own claw, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, there you go. Yes. All right, so we are going to go into our next track here. We have two more. One of them might be a brand new track. So this next one we have is Not the Bees. Another, I can't wait to hear the story. This is metal as
This is
shit.
metal as shit. Forget my man.
I wish I was a pro wrestler and this was my like entry music. That's what it makes me feel. Oh, I hear that good serum bass. like that lead out just
Bruh.
made me laugh. So,
Bruh.
because it's just like
Bruh.
it's just like he just like fell off the cliff like.
That was metal. as
Yo,
fuck.
yeah, that was heavy as shit.
That was
What
awesome.
what is
man.
the story with not the bees?
Do you want to tell him or do you want me to tell him?
Go crazy, man. This one's off the charts, so go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was a song that he sent me that was ridiculous because it had all those quotes in it, and it was just a single bass note throughout the entire song. And I don't know what was up with us that night. Maybe we stayed up too late or something, but it was not choreographed well at all. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do with this song. I think a lot of our best songs come from dude. I don't know what to do with this song. And I was like, I'm just gonna throw the entire song into a sampler, and I'm gonna make each slice of the song a key on the piano, and I'm gonna play it. And that beat that you heard at the beginning is all pieces of drums from that song, like played on keyboard. There's no MIDI drawn for that, except for the MIDI that was drawn to make the sample of the first song. So that is a chop up of a song that you'll never hear ever. And all those
That's
weird little
insane.
beeps and deletes and stuff and snare rolls were all in the original song, but when I would hit a key or play a different beat with it, I would come up with a pattern and be like, this pattern sounds cool. And then how can I mesh this with this bass line or this piano and make it work? And yeah, it's just a sliced up song.
And the initial song was us taking samples from Nicolas Cage movies.
He's yelling
And-
haggis there. That's
Yeah,
it.
he's just-
Haggis.
I was like,
Haggis.
what is that?
Yeah, he thought it was Mortal
I was
Kombat.
like- I thought it was someone be like,
We're like, is this-
Like,
Oh my god. And of course, I was just watching a documentary about Candyman, so I see Not the Bees, and I'm like, wait, is that what this?
Yeah, it's from whatever that movie was where he was on the island with the crazy cult, and they try to kill him with bees.
I see. I
Yeah,
have
all
to
the
see more
yelling
Nick
in
Cage
there is
movies.
Nick Cage. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved that. The fact that you even thought to do that, like what made you think to take it and just chop it? Like where, like has that something that you've done before? Like where did that come from?
I don't have experience with making chopped up music, so I'm kind of learning like Dr. Sektor. I'm more of a musician than I am like a DAW operator or like composer. So all I know how to do is take things and turn them into instruments. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sit here and draw lines with a touchpad and, try to come up with let me just sample it. And I was trying to sample different sections and play some keys myself. And I was like, what if I just go straight up to the downbeat slice tool where the computer automatically picks downbeats and slices it into the individual keys for you? And I was feeling it out, and I'm like, oh, it picked a snare for me. It picked a kick drum over here. So I'm like, I can play a drum beat on the piano by learning where the drums are in the song and just hitting the different pieces. And then I was like, okay, I can layer a bass underneath this, so I can use it as my drum beat. And then all like the weird yells and crazy backward sounding synths and stuff were the weird deedle-deedle-deedle-deedles that he had in his song.
I
So
love your descriptors, by the way. The
Yeah.
beep boop boop and a doo loop.
all the
that's
little
total
beep
musician
boops that he
talk.
put in this song ended up being like cool drum effects somehow. And that's, I don't know, I loved that process of like, I can sit in the piano and play that crazy breakdown beat, and like, I'm so happy with like just sitting there and hearing this thing that sounds like was made by some crazy DJ master, but I'm just playing it like a piano, like that's awesome
love it.
to me.
I love it. Well, and those are the gears turning, like people are talking about the mad scientist gears
Right.
turning. It's so cool. That is, yeah, that was amazing.
How can I figure out a way to make this work? That's my
Yeah.
main. I'm just solving. Well, I don't want to say our songs are problems, but I'm trying to find a solution here, and maybe I'm losing my mind in the process.
Depends on who you ask.
All right, so we have one more track to play, and this is your newest track. This is The Finisher. So we're gonna check that out. This is a brand new track from Warpsektor. It has not been premiered before. Let's get it. I could hula hoop to this. Marissa. All I want to listen to now when we play Mortal Kombat. I'll probably be better. Maybe it'll make me better. That chiptune lead is just everything. Everything. Holy shit. Yo. All right.
Bruh.
That was a fatality. That was a flawless victory. That was amazing. Yo. Holy shit. New track from Warpsektor. Amazing. Please, please tell us about that track.
So I am a glutton for buying new packs and things. So when it comes to new sounds and things that I want to do, I love chiptune music. Grew up as a huge gamer nerd as a kid, and all the beeps and boops kind of influence a lot of what I do. And I was sitting there looking at Shirabon's stuff. I was watching and listening to Shirabon, and his stuff is just phenomenal. And I realized that Shirabon had a pack that you could buy that was like a couple songs on Bandcamp that came with Serum presets made to sound like a lot of the stuff from LSDJ. And I was like, well, that's perfect because I use Serum. So I bought that, dropped it right in, and I was like, we're making some chip tunes, Leeds. Let's go.
Yes. Oh my God, so awesome, Mr. D. What was your like guidance and involvement with the track?
Well, I'm in on every track. I'm always there trying to help him organize stuff. I got him with the long lead in there with the wee wee, and I got him to do some organization with the bringing the song in and out with the drop. He actually came up with the idea to reverse the drop when coming back into the change, which was nice.
Yeah, that was a cool effect.
We had reversed part of the actual song and put it in front during that ramp up. If you listen to the song in detail, you'll hear all those little things in there. Also, the get over here, we grabbed a soundboard and I sent that over to him, and because we kept finding dirty ones, so I found him a clean one. So yeah, I mean, I'm there for most of the process, even though like I feel like most of the work is him. He knows how to do the drums now. He knows how to do that bass is him. Like he knows how to do the bass really well.
Good bass.
And so I love playing over his tracks, and yeah, that's mostly him. But yeah, I sit in on everything, so I feel like I've influenced it maybe a little bit.
Yeah, he's a heavy influence on everything I do. So
that track was awesome. Awesome. What made you go to Mortal Kombat? Like what?
I don't know. To be honest, it just kind of popped in my head. I was sitting there thinking to myself, we're doing a chiptune-esque song, right? I was like, I wanted something from an old school video game to throw in there as some type of sound clip for the drop, and I thought to myself, all right, we need some Mortal Kombat in here because this thing's just dirty and grungy. It needs to be heavy. Let's go Mortal Kombat.
Yes, good choice. And that right where you dropped that sample was like the perfect spot, perfect time. I'm so glad you didn't overuse it and like, do it through the whole. It was just that perfect, like, ooh, it hit right at a good time. That was awesome. That was
in some of our earlier stuff, I had a tendency to overuse those samples, right? And that's kind of where the meme core concept came from, was that we used to just ride the samples, but now we're being a little more picky and choosy where we put them.
It worked out so perfectly. That was a sick track. So everybody, please. Ooh, got our sound up a little. Everyone, please go bump that track. All of their links are here in the chat. Please go bump that track. Please, help them get it out there. If you like it, share it with your friends. Share all their stuff with your friends. Make more friends with their stuff.
Pop in the streams.
Yes, and pop in the streams. Now we're gonna open up the floor to some questions from our chat. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask of Warpsektor, please throw them in the chat there. And after this, we're gonna actually get a little taste of what you guys do live on stream. So while we're getting some questions in, explain, what you do. I know you mentioned your schedule, but just for anyone that might be popping in, what do you stream and when do you guys stream?
Yeah, so we stream 3 days a week. Saturday nights are one of our kind of going late streams, so we'll start at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. And Saturday nights, all music. We call it Beat Boop Nation, just to be stupid. And yeah, we just kind of jump in and we just start making tracks. And we do a lot of audience participation. Our community is growing. We have a lot of friends who stream as well, so we'll bump stuff over from them. And in our Discord, we'll have people send us things to sample, right? And then there's that live audience interaction where people just call out ridiculous things for us to sample and throw into songs, and we just go nuts. And we just, I'll lose myself for hours. It'll be 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, well, maybe I should get some sleep tonight. We'll find out. Sunday, as I mentioned, I'm a huge freaking nerd. So Sunday we actually stream Magic the Gathering. arena. So I've been playing that since like 1994. I used to play competitively a little bit, and that's kind of how the stream started off, was me streaming that actually early on. Monday night we do a platformer review show called The Source Code. We've got 53 episodes in so far now. And we'll
Holy shit.
review great platformers and janky platformers off of Steam for the first hour, starting at 8 o'clock. And then we go right back into music production after that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we do have a couple questions here. So from Nanoverse, ooh, I'm interested in this one too, but not for nefarious reasons, because I think I know it'll be a good answer. Have you guys ever gotten into an argument while making a track?
Ooh, watch the stream.
Oh,
You'll hear
no.
me be like, I don't know, man. That sounds awful. And then Hamill sometimes will be on there, and he'll come in and be like, man, that's super harsh, man. I don't know how you could say that. I think he understands where I'm coming from. Like,
Yeah.
he's in the moment, right? So if I don't put some kind of emphasis on like, I don't know, man, that's kind of garbage right there. Like, it's just an opinion, right? And he could do. Sometimes he'll be like, I like this garbage, and I'm like, all right, well, you got to do what you got to do, man.
That's what I
Like
was going for.
and I think as long as like we push back at each other a certain amount, but I think what really makes it work is I see it as me helping him, not him working for me, right? And so he has the final say. If he wants to make a garbage song with 20 million haggises in it, like that's up to him. Like, and I'm gonna help him try to make it as good as I can. That's
I love
my goal, right? So I
it.
think that stops a lot of arguing, but we also talk a lot off stream, and we've had disagreements about stuff where we go, oh, we were talking about the same thing from different sides. And I don't think it's ever been like a non-amicable thing. We're both trying to figure out what each other are saying, right? So
Yeah, it's that communication point, right? You know, he and I spend a lot of time really trying to understand what the other person's saying, because we know that both of us have that underlying positive intent. We just want whatever we're doing to be the best that it can possibly be. So at no point in time do I ever feel like he's, just just railing into me. I know that he says what he says for a reason, so I always listen, and we somehow come to an agreement. But yeah, I think that's kind of just how we've been always in our friendship as well. I don't think we've ever really gotten into an actual argument, to be honest.
I think we have actual arguments, honestly. I'm gonna disagree and have an argument on that. I think we have
Oh.
actual arguments because I think an argument is where you present your case with the hope that the other person is taking it, and he presents his case and I listen to it. And I think a lot of people have disagreements and then don't talk to each other anymore, and that's completely different than an argument, I think. So
Yeah,
Oh,
valid
wow.
point.
Yeah, that is a really, really good point. All right. We have another one here from Colt Vex. Do you guys have a favorite key to write in?
Well,
I know yours.
Ooh,
Go
he
for
might
it.
not even been
Yours,
aware.
yours is C. Everything's a C to an F, all white keys. That's you all day long, easy to find.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Did you even know
it's
that?
so hilarious.
Were you aware of that, or is that one of those things like when you talk a lot and someone's like, you say all the time?
Yeah, I start very much, yeah, in the key of C. I've started to try to get away from it a little bit, and I think that has to do a lot with just how basic I am with music, right? It's me still just kind of learning in general. So I'm forcing myself to try to get away from it a little bit, but yeah, it's comfortable. So I tend to write in that key.
Once you find your happy place, it's just that's what it is. It's your happy place, and that's where you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
It makes
whatever
things
key I
easier.
can find. There's a bunch of keys here. We'll hit them and see what happens.
I'm the
Oh.
same way with the piano. I'll just sit down and play like an F sharp minor. It has a nice like triangular feel to it, and it has black notes and white notes, and I can kind of slide fingers around and do jazzy stuff. And so, yeah, if I just sit down at a piano real quick, I'm going to see how it feels to just play an F sharp minor and mess around, and that's where I start off. But I might not stay there. So if I had to choose a favorite, I guess that's what I do first. So
Okay. All right, we have another one. Okay, people are being smart. Has anyone really been far even has decided? Capricious, sit down. All right.
I have the answer to that.
Oh,
To
yes. Oh,
use
you do.
even go want to do look more like.
Oh,
Bingo.
yes, I do see. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Use even go, everybody. You heard it first.
You are welcome, Capricious.
All right, Marzadi has a question. What is your favorite song or songs of all time from the both of you, and what you've produced and from another artist and genre? So let me read that again. What is your favorite song of all time, both from what you've produced and from another artist or genre?
It's tough. For me, I think Citadel is my favorite song that we've produced because I think that one really marks a turning point in our production for a more full sound. It's something where it really marks this moment where we had this epiphany of kind of where our sound was going to go. And I think that song will always stand out to me as that true eureka moment of where we wanted our music to go. Man, favorite song from any artist ever. That's really tough. But interestingly enough, so I mentioned earlier that In Flames is my favorite band of all time, and for some reason, every time I think of them, the song "Take This Life" always pops into my head, right? And I have their entire discography. I've listened to every song they've ever done 1,000 times. But there's something about that music video and that song that just kind of speaks to me. More so now than before. I don't want to get down on the stream. I have a cousin, or had a cousin, who passed away this past year. So that song really speaks to me on a different level now. So because of the situation and what occurred there. But yeah, that's it. D?
Yeah, as far as what we've made, there's a secret track. We like to troll each other. We redid an old track because we were starting to get better at making music, and there was this track called "The Old Gods," which had a lot of these old god style quotes in it, and we redid it and called it "The New Gods." And I was supposed to do some fun stuff on there, add some orchestrations, add a little voices. I added like a creaky boat at the beginning, so you really feel like you're on this old ship headed to somewhere. And I let him listen. I always let him listen before we bring the track live, and so I let him listen to it, and he's like, interesting. And as it goes on, it gets more and more ridiculous. And I didn't realize what I had done because it's kind of like the Cthulhu narrative, but it goes further and further into insanity with like ska and marimba and these weird African voices and me laughing maniacally at the end. And like, now he can't listen to the good one that I did without hearing all those other parts. And so to me, that's like the best thing I've ever made, because it's like, it's this crazy mind game. Like, he can't listen to that track anymore without hearing the Timo. Like, it's just, it's stuck in his head, and that's not in the song at all. So, and since music is so crazy and I don't really have like a favorite, I'm just going to go straight psycho drum and bass, and I'm gonna go Pendulum Through the Loop.
Oh, Pendulum. Yes, so good. Good choice. Good choice. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got here. I know we have one. Capricious had a really good one, and I have to find it. Oh, Dr. Sektor. If someone was having a heart attack on an airplane, is it ethical for you to say you're a doctor, or lie and say you're not?
Or lie.
Yeah.
He's got you in a trap of
It's like,
that
no,
one.
I
buddy.
actually am
He's
Dr.
got me in a logical trap
Sektor.
now. Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm absolutely a doctor, but I ain't got a clue what to do in that situation. So you have to call somebody else.
Throw some bloops at it? I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Hit him with the beeps and boops, and jumpstart that heart. Let's go.
Oh my God. Capricious. Okay. All right. Capricious. Which one of you is Captain and which one is Tennille? Who is Simon and who is Garfunkel?
D, I'll let you answer that one.
Um, I'm I'm the background guy. He's the foreground guy. If that answers the question.
Yeah, which out of those? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm the face. Is that what, I'm the face, I guess.
you are the guy. I don't exist.
That's a valid point. You are a robot, so.
Right,
You're-
I'm not
yes.
real.
The droid. Oh, from non-operational, what is your favorite 3-beat slide song?
I knew it. I knew it was coming. Summertime, of course. Come on, man.
Yeah, summertime is my favorite too.
So let's unpack that real quick. So non-operational is a good buddy of ours who also streams, and he redeemed a make us a theme song on our channel. So we wrote a theme song for his stream, but he's also a glutton for punishment when it comes to terrible, cringe, homemade music videos. There's this group called 3-Beat Slide that's like a family band, and the songs are interesting to say the least. And he has pelted us with them for a while now. So when he asked us to make a song for him, we turned one of their songs into a synth
Oh,
and
stop.
planted all kinds of little Easter eggs in his intro song for his stream for him.
Oh my God. That is amazing. So you said it was one of their songs that you
Yeah.
sampled into a synth?
Yeah, I think it was Summertime actually that we took. We
Oh,
took that one
Summertime?
song, and they're always singing off key, so it was really hard to tune it.
No, there's 2 songs. What about Bang Bang Bang?
Oh yeah, we put Bang 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 in there too. Yeah, for the breakdown. Man, I forgot about that.
Wait, did we see this band before? It's like 3 daughters and they
She,
look like
she
they're like
shot me with a
kidnapped
love
into
gun.
playing.
Bang Bang Bang. Yeah.
Okay, we've seen this. Okay, all right, yes. I have to find it again. I don't know where we saw it, but everything you're saying sounded so familiar. I'm like, wait a minute, we've seen these people.
Oh my God!
And it's
Yes, and they have the very
bad.
long hair. And
Yes.
they're all like
Yeah.
sisters. Oh my God!
So bad.
So if
oh
you
my God.
so if you check out the song Non-Operational, that's that travesty.
Okay.
It's
all right.
actually really good.
It is actually pretty
It's
fun.
way
is
better
it
than it
is
should
it on
be.
your SoundCloud?
It shouldn't
It
be
is,
that
yeah.
good, and we say that all the time. Like, this song should not be good.
It
Fuck
has
it,
no right
let's
to be
just-
good, but it turned out
let's
pretty
find
solid.
it.
I'm finding it right now.
We're looking because we'll at least get like a
Oh,
yeah.
oh, here we go. All right. We're gonna get a little taste of non-operational. We gotta hear this.
Shout out to Nana.
He made it happen.
That voice is them.
Thanks for the follow. Yeah, hear that mic. Bow, 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 bow. It's actually like is really good. The way you sampled that works out really good. Woo. Stop laughing. Oh my God. non-operational stuff. I love Yeah, that transition is awesome. Yo.
That's the
Oh
cursed
my
ending.
God. Yo, third rate nerds, thank you for the sub.
Thank you.
Oh, we just got a sub to
Thank you so much,
non-operational.
man.
Oh, there you go. Welcome,
go.
non-operational.
There you go,
That
man.
track, holy shit. Oh my God.
Welcome to the grid, buddy.
The use of those vocals. The use of the vocals,
was
dude.
incredible, dude.
Holy shit.
That track was incredible.
Holy shit. Wow.
You too can get a song written for you like that if you watch us long enough and get 100,000, whatever we call them nowadays. You
Points
can
of
you
some
can
form.
redeem yourself with songwriting. So
There you go. If you need a theme song for your channel, go watch their Twitch. Holy shit, that was so cool. I'm so glad we checked